Y'all, I swear, the reason why I be late is because my goddamn guests are late, or it's an event happening and I'm late. But I'm here now. Oh my god, you guys. Hello. Welcome. I will wait for you all to start popping in and then we can start the discussion. But yeah, I swear to God, if he don't bring his ass up here in the next 10 seconds, I'm gonna yell so loud downstairs. What's up, Jermaine? What's up, C? Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a very deep topic tonight, and I'm real interested to hear y'all thoughts. What's up, Pace? Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's up, D? Welcome to the conversation. Oh my God. It's been a really rough day, y'all. What's up, Chuck? What's up, y'all? What's up, what's up, what's up? I will be starting momentarily. I was getting the fucking song ready and everything, but guess what? A bitch is late, so it looked like we ain't got time for all that, okay? What's up? Welcome, welcome. Y'all know what we talking about today. Y'all already know. It's a deep-ass topic, and but it's one that needs to be discussed. It's one that needs to be talked about, and we're about to get pretty deep into it. I have a male guest with me today, and he's going to be talking about his experience with rape and rape culture, and I want to get you guys' experiences and take on it. And I have to thank one of my followers, Yo Daddy. Legit, like, that's his name. It's not, I ain't talking about y'all daddy. So when you hear me say that, I'm talking about my IG follower, Yo Daddy, aka his name is TJ. Okay, so thank you, TJ, for bringing this topic to the table, because it is something that needs to be talked about and addressed. So let's see here. Oh my gosh, you guys. So what's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome. So it looks like we need to talk about the rules for Tea with Tea, because yeah, if you guys are going to be coming live and all of that, then these are the things that you need to know. One, the first thing is I need you to be respectful, okay? So that means no slinging, insults or condescending remarks to anybody else that is talking on the show, okay? So first rule, be respectful. Second rule is if you're going to come live, then you need to be in an area where you have good Wi-Fi connection. If I have to constantly wait for your shit to unfreeze or whatever, then don't even come live. Hello, welcome, welcome. Oh my goodness, y'all are here for this. Y'all are here for this conversation. I just want to say that I'm proud of all of you that are tuning in, because it's a hard topic, it's a deep topic, but it's something that needs to be talked about and addressed. So let's start with a little bit of tea time. You guys, so y'all know that I do lift, and a lot of people have started to kind of tell me that they would be interested in, what's up, Nessa? Welcome to the conversation. Are you ready to talk about do we or do we not live in a rape culture? Because it's a big deal. I swear to God, if this motherfucker don't bring his deaf ass upstairs, oh my God, y'all. It won't even matter if I yell, because he won't be able to hear me. He won't. But anyway, a lot of people have been asking me to do the taxi cab confessions in my Lyft car. Take your shoes off, sir, please. So, and I need your phone, and I need you to put it on airplane mode so that I can use the audio for it, so that I can airdrop it. Our guest just got here, y'all. So he didn't technically just get here. His ass was talking to Travel Daddy, okay? Which I don't even want to go into what this motherfucker. You know what? He's got. You know what? I'll have to talk to y'all about this later. Yes, I'm talking about him.
No, open or close.
Close the door, please. Close the door. Where's your voice memo on here?
I have no idea.
Never mind. I found it. You have never even used your voice memo before.
Not on my phone. No, I have not.
You legit have never used your voice memo. What's up, y'all? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are just about to get into the topic. I'm doing a little bit of tea time. So I'm really curious to know if you guys, for those of you that take Lyft and Uber, if you got into a Lyft or an Uber and it was like tricked out and shit, and like somebody wanted to like film you while you guys were on your drive and having a conversation, what would you say? Would you say yes? Do you feel like you would need to sign some sort of like permission waiver in order for this to happen? Or would you be like, nah, bruh, I'd be definitely down and I would do that shit. Like, that shit sounds fun as fuck and I would do it. That's kind of what I want to know and kind of gauge is like, if I should really do this. And like, because people are talking about like, yeah, people are putting it on like YouTube and stuff, and I'm just like, what? Like, people are already doing this? Does Lyft know? Y'all motherfuckers out here doing this? So yeah, I would like some opinions on that. I mean, I don't really know yet if I'm gonna actually do it, but a lot of people are like, bro, the Lyft Chronicles should be a thing for real. But anyway, once Claudius gets out of the bathroom, I'm gonna let him introduce himself, tell you a little bit about him, and then we're gonna get it popping. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Nessa, what would it depend on? You participating in vibes is everything. Well, I will say the vibes in my car is strong. It's screwed. But creeps are too. That's true. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out is like, would this be creepy or not? Are you gonna come in? You can come in whenever.
I didn't know if I was just
you can
right
just
in or what.
Yeah, you can just pop in whenever. Like, you don't have to. And if you want, you can be on or off camera. Whatever.
All right. Hello world. I'm fine.
Okay. So everybody, welcome my special guest with me. This is Claudius. Claudius, introduce yourself, like let people know who you are, where you from, and what you do.
Fair enough. My name is Claudius Shropshire. I'm an LA native, born and raised out here, 27 years old. I currently coach high school track and cross country. I train adult marathoners and triathletes, and I compete as a duathlete at technically the amateur level, but I'm working my way up to elite.
He really did give his whole spiel.
I did. If you are looking for a personal trainer, please DM me at TheGecko91
we'll get to
on Instagram.
We're gonna get to all of that at the end, okay?
I'm sorry.
So infamous, shut up. Infamous says, are women creeps too?
Are they what?
Creeps. I feel like women, he knows. Women are creeps too.
I've met a handful.
Yeah. Women, I know a few creeps. Yo, daddy popped in. What's up? So, the person that gave us this topic is here. He has his opinions. He might go live with us, but if not, I have his bullet points. So, I'm real excited. You know what? Bullet points, okay? Yes. We're going to go ahead and get into it. So, you all know that the main topic of discussion for today is, do we live in a rape culture? Now, I feel like it's only fitting that in order for us to be able to have this discussion, we define what is rape culture. And I personally would like to know what you all feel is the definition of a rape culture, or what are some examples of what you would see if we did live in a rape culture. What's up? Welcome. Now, the context definition that I have been able to come up with, there are many, but this is the definition that, contextualizes it in the most simplest manner. It is basically a society or environment whose prevailing societal or social attitudes have the effect of normalizing or trivializing sexual assault and abuse. Now, Yo Daddy has said he doesn't feel that we live in a rape culture because we as a society don't. Oh shit, who coming live? Who is Black Rain? Hold on, you just got in here. Listen, you know what? For those of you, I need you guys to figure out what we're talking about before you come live. So listen to what we're talking about, and then if you still have something that you want to contribute and say, just type it and be like, yo, I'm still trying to come live, and I'll be like, all right, bet, got you. Chuck says, rape culture is very real. Yes, we 100% live in that culture. That definition is perfect. Yes, thank you, Google. Uncle Google. Okay. So Chuck says he feels yes, we do. Now, Yo Daddy says, I'm going to feel funny every time I say that now, like, because that's his name. I feel like I should just say TJ because it's weird every time I say Yo Daddy. Like, I'm just going to say TJ. Again, TJ says no, because he doesn't feel we as a society celebrate someone being raped and that everyone looks down on it. My name, okay, yes, TJ, that's why I say I'm going to call you TJ. Because I can't call you your daddy all night. That's just weird. It's just, I can't, shut up. I can't do it. You see his face, he's like.
I ain't going to call him your daddy. I'm going to say that much.
What's up, AC? Welcome to the conversation. So, you know, Claudius, how do you feel about the idea of us living in a rape culture? What do you think? Do you think that we do?
I would say that our culture has been desensitized
to
rape. I wouldn't say that we live in a rape culture, but I would say that it has become almost normalized to where it becomes expected. Or it has become something that is at the same level as where you would put someone saying, okay, well, Black Lives Matter, and it's like, okay, somebody, another name, another hashtag, another this, another that. It's become that level.
It's become to that level. Okay, so TJ says, no one ever congratulated someone on raping someone else. And Chuck says, oh, really? Everyone looks down on them? Ask Black folks about Bill Cosby. Okay, so my thing, TJ, with your argument is I don't think rape culture implies that we celebrate rape. I think what rape culture implies is that we as a society basically just look the other way. When somebody says they've been raped, we're like, oh, really? Oh, okay, well, it's happens every day, happens all the time. We do turn a blind eye. And when somebody says, I've been raped, we're like, so what did you do? Like, what happened? Like, it's one of those things of where we as a society tend to do a lot of, at least in American culture, we do a lot of victim blaming. Like, we tend to look at the victim and say, well, it's something that you did that made this other person do this to you. Mm-hmm. And so I agree, I don't really feel like we necessarily live in a rape culture, but I do think we have become very desensitized to the topic of rape. And I mean, it's very prevalent. Like, our fucking president is in locker rooms talking about grabbing pussy, and he's still the president. He said that shit. You do realize he said that before he became the president. Okay.
And he said it again.
And then he said it again.
He was proud of it.
He was proud that he was out here grabbing pussy.
Yeah.
So if men are allowed to say things like that, how do we not live in a desensitized culture? Not necessarily a rape culture, but a desensitized one. TJ says, I can believe that, but that's because no one says what is okay. So let's go into that then. What do we as a society consider rape? So TJ, you use the example of sometimes the guy doesn't really have an idea that he's raped a girl. And so we'll use your example. It says, as in an instance when a female just has sex with someone and doesn't give verbal consent that she wants to, but she also doesn't say no or object when the act occurs, and then later on, after the fact, she'll tell people that she was raped by that individual. Now, is that or is that not rape? I wanna know you guys' opinion on that. Nessa says Me Too movement. TJ says, but that we live in a misogynistic culture. We definitely live in a misogynistic culture. Chuck says, the Me Too movement is all the proof you need to know rape culture is real. Remember how that hashtag blew up. Oh, 100%. I mean, we actively are a part of the Me Too movement as well. And I think that we as a society get caught up in the fact that when we say rape culture, we're almost always implicating women. And we're not. rape culture is a societal view in general of the idea of rape. It doesn't have anything to do with gender. It doesn't even have anything to do with like your sexuality. Rape happens in all shape, sizes, fashion, and forms. What's up, Passion? Welcome to the conversation. The topic is, do we live in a rape culture? Okay, we're just getting into it. We haven't even shared our own experiences yet. That is something that we are going to get into when we get into spilling our tea. We're not there yet. Right now, we're just giving thoughts, opinions, definitions on what rape culture is, what is rape, and what are some like gray areas, I guess you could say. Because there are gray areas, I think. There are some areas where it's like, ooh, like, I don't, that could go either
almost
way.
Situational?
It's situational, yeah. There are some things that are situational. TJ says, so what is rape? What qualifies as rape, or that you should be a part of the Me Too movement? I think that rape is any sort of sexual advance or interaction that you do not give consent to. So rape, it doesn't always, I mean, I guess rape would be the physical act of it. But harassment is also, I mean, you got to throw that in there too.
Right, you have sexual assault, you have harassment, you have molestation.
You have molestation, you have trauma, you have abuse.
Or lead up to it.
Exactly. And I feel like so that's what it is. There are things that lead up to rape. Rape is like the physical act of carrying out whatever you were doing prior. But sometimes you don't even have to always be doing anything prior. Like it could just be that one act that you do. But I feel like those are the acts that are, those are mostly about power, and those don't really have a lot to do with anything other than that moment of power that person wanted. But like harassment, like that takes some time. Like, it takes time to harass somebody. What's up, stunt man?
Harassment is what really falls into that gray area also.
Right.
Because like harassment can be on many different levels, and it can affect you differently.
Chuck says, by legal definition, yes, that is rape. Consent is needed. There are no such things as types of rape. What qualifies as rape? Forcible penetration without consent. TJ says, but when you have sex, do you say, hey, let's engage in sex? Okay, this is the problem, I think, with sex in general, is the fact that
nobody communicates.
Nobody feels like they should. Like, I feel like if you are going to engage in sexual activity, you need to take a step back and rein in your loins and your lust for a minute and just ask before you stick it in, hey, are you okay with this? Are you sure? If she says yes, then no, that's not rape, even if but see, that's a gray area though. So what if she says yes initially, but then after the fact, she's like, you know what? No, I'm not comfortable with, so that is, okay, that is definitely a gray area right there, is when a chick says yes, but then after that, she's like, you know what? I didn't really want to do that. I didn't really want to have sex with you. But like, for instance, in TJ's notes, he was talking about, the whole thing of, well, he was bigger than me, or he was my ride home, so I didn't really feel. But I feel like, bitch, you can't use that excuse no more. Bitch, it's Lyft and it's Uber. You could have called somebody. You could have called a cousin. You could have called a friend. So we can't be out here using excuses of, oh, he was my ride home. Bitch, listen, we're going to clear this up. If you don't have enough money to get you back to your crib from his crib, you don't need to be over there. You don't need to go over his house, because if you are that dependent on him to get you a lift or take you home, you shouldn't be, you making wrong life decisions. Like, you need to reevaluate the decisions you're making in your life and that has gotten you to this point. This is why you're in this position. Is because you make poor life decisions. So,
but then that almost sounds hypocritical in the sense that you're taking our point in the culture where you're saying, oh, well, what did you do to get yourself in that position.
Well, no, and that's what I'm saying. You're right. It does sound like definitely does sound like I'm saying that. But what I mean is we as women do have to start being more mindful and cognizant of the situations we put ourselves in. If you put yourself in a compromising situation, that heightens your probability of having a sexual interaction of some sort. You can always, of course, yes, you should never be put in a situation in which you're made to feel uncomfortable. And I'm not saying that the man should ever feel like just because you're at his house on the first date, you should be giving pussy. But what I am saying is, if you know you're not trying to fuck, don't put yourself in that situation of getting to his house and then like you start taking off clothes and shit. And then it gets to that point of where he's like, so what's up? And you're like, oh, no. I wasn't trying to fuck. How dare you assume? Like, right. That nigga hit you with the Scooby-Doo like, bitch, what? What do you mean? What's up, Keys? Welcome. So TJ says, so should the guy then be blamed for something he knew nothing about? And whose job is that? If it's over, that's not rape. That's a bad night, but that's a real reason for girls saying rape. So is that the guy's fault? Should he be called a rapist? TJ, have you ever done this before? I feel like this is like a personal, like, this is a personal, he's like, I just want to know if I've been out here raping bitches. Like, Keys says, yes, Keys, you have, I'm sorry, Lance, you've walked into a deep conversation. We are talking about, do we live in a rape culture? What is a rape culture? Like the definition of rape. And right now, it feels like there's a lot of like gray areas right now on this conversation of like what is defined as rape, what is defined as harassment. Another example that TJ uses has to do with the sex in the workplace. Now, this is an interesting one. So if a boss asks an employee if he or she would like to have sex and they ask one time and then they never bring it up again, like say the person's like, ew, no, fuck, what are you talking about? Then is this considered sexual harassment, or do you have to have multiple instances in order for that to occur? And is harassment strictly like verbal, or is it physical? Like what sort of harassment are we talking about? When does it get to the level of harassment instead of just like annoyance?
Well, who asked, I'm trying to figure out this question here.
Okay, so while you figure that out, Chuck says, there is nothing that a woman can do, wear, say, etc. that justifies her being violated, period. Women must be able to live, work, play in a world, in a world without fear of this. Lance says, you can't even smile or say hi or give a compliment to a woman anymore. C says, we're gonna talk about all this. So C says, sex is a two-way street, meaning the both of you are willing to do that level. Rape is forcing the sex. My mom would always tell me when a person says no, no means no, no matter what you're doing or asking for.
That makes sense.
Okay. Ooh, we've got a lot to unpack here. Okay. So Chuck says, whatever, it doesn't matter what a woman does. She's never asking for rape. No matter what situation she puts herself in, no matter what she's wearing, no matter how she carries herself, she is never asking to be raped ever. Mm-hmm. C is saying no means no, basically. And TJ is saying he agrees with C. Mm-hmm. That if she doesn't... So TJ, what you're saying is you feel that if a woman doesn't tell you no, and she allows you to go on with said sexual act, even if she feels bad after the fact, it's like, nah, bruh, I didn't rape you. You just had a bad experience. Yeah. And you're just taking that out and you're just trying to flip what happened, essentially. Or you're trying to now imply that I raped you because the dick was trash. I'm just playing, TJ. I don't know if your dick is trash, but... I mean, it could essentially be like she was just like, damn, that dick was trash. I got mad.
Maybe he was giving out C grade dick instead of A grade dick.
Exactly.
I mean, he wasn't all in with it.
I do hear that y'all niggas got levels to your dick now. So y'all out here, maybe you just gave her some C grade dick and she was upset and she wanted the A grade, and so she said that you raped her. It could be that.
Damn.
It could be a part of that. C agrees with Chuck.
I got a with that too. So.
Okay. So TJ says if a girl says no, it's a wrap. But most women don't say no. It might be Levels. Cam says levels. It's true. There are levels.
There's some levels to that.
It was a bad night. Levels equal facts. So all the men are in agreement that there are levels of dick.
Levels.
Can y'all explain the levels of dick to me? I'd love that. Will somebody go live?
I think that needs to be a separate conversation, though.
Okay, so levels. Okay.
Save that for next week.
We'll save that topic for next week. Levels of dick. What are they?
And then also, wasn't threesomes another topic? We can throw that in there next week,
we'll throw that in there. Like, we've got a lot to cover, you guys. So Chuck says, one time is not harassment. Why are people trying to pretend that they don't understand these issues? Seems like a few people are searching for subliminal justification of their own actions. Ooh, bitch, shade. Ooh. I just heard shade. All kinds of motherfucking shade up in this bitch. Where's my umbrella? It's cloudy in this motherfucker. Huh. I feel like that was shots fired. But I kind of agree, because I do feel like there are some things that are just fucking cut and dry. Like, I'm sorry, some of this shit is cut and dry. Like, no, that's not harassment, but it's kind of heading in that direction, and you're just kind of trying to gauge where the fuck you at. You like, how close am I getting to harassing somebody? Like, I just want to know before I get to the point. So it's okay for me to ask a woman one time if we can have sex. But if I go past that, then it's harassment. And so, okay, once is my limit.
Going back to the context, though.
Okay.
Like, for this particular question, in the workplace, it's not okay, period.
In the workplace, it's never not okay, point blank, period. And the thing is, I've dated my coworker, so I know that sometime. But the thing is, he wasn't my boss. We were equal coworkers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we were both trainers. So I think there is that level, like, and that's the thing, though, sometimes you are attracted to somebody that just so happens to be in a position of power or a lesser position than you, and you can't help that you're attracted to that person. But
if it's like mutual, then fine. But like this question says, did you ask for sex?
That's true. So did the bitch give you the eye? Did she give you the side eye? Like, what's up?
It's like, okay, well, y'all at work and you asking for sex, or did you like say, hey, let's go out, let's do this, do that, and then organically?
What's up, Chuck? Welcome to the conversation. Chuck says at work, 100% you better hear no the first time.
Right. Like, this is not some porn where it's like, all right, we just gonna throw everything off the desk and just go at it.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, TJ, I do see the gray areas, but there are some of this that is just completely 100% black and white. Like, there's just some part where it's just like, you gotta use your damn common sense.
Common sense is not common, though.
I was just about to say that. Common sense these days ain't so damn common. Like, I wish it was, but the fact that, like, we have to have this conversation implies that we don't live in a common sense. Most of us just don't have it.
We are in the era of uncommon sense.
Right. Name a gray area? You want me to name one, or are you asking the group? I just want to know before I give an example. C said she just might be nasty enough to be down with doing it at the workplace. I know some people that have done that before.
But if you all have history or you've built it up, then that makes a difference. If it's just like your boss calling you and saying, hey, I want to talk to you real quick.
Yeah.
That's different. Like, if it's like, okay, y'all been talking.
Y'all been built up a rapport of nastiness together.
Then do what you do behind closed
that's
doors.
what I'm saying. I feel like
that's the gray area.
But I feel like that's such a fucking, like, that's, like, easy to know. Like, if you've been flirting with said employee, and y'all end up fucking, then that is not, we're not talking about the same thing.
Yeah,
we're talking about this completely different context. We're talking about you as a boss or you as an employee see another employee that you find attractive, and they have given you no implication whatsoever that they're even attracted to you at all, but you feel the need to go up to them and ask them,
you trying to fuck?
Basically. So those are two completely different situations and scenarios. So that is not a gray area at all. You're just a fucking idiot. Like, that's what that is. Let's just call a spade a spade. Okay? If you don't get if we don't lob you a fucking ball into your court, like you made a move, I made a move, I'm putting it back in your court, if you playing fucking handball by yourself with the wall, don't come up to me and try to include me in your shit.
Don't shoot your shot.
Don't shoot your shot. You got to know when to shoot your shot, homie.
It's not even the same game.
Common sense is relative. Please define what you mean by that, because I feel like I need a definition or an elaboration of that.
Concrete.
Name a concrete reason that is rape that we all don't agree on. Which part? The part about, I feel like I just gave a pretty good, which part?
I like that what Chuck's saying. Long-term marriage relationships. Because, I mean, I was going to bring up something earlier.
Dangerous. Okay, so what were you going to bring up earlier?
About how you were saying that consent is this. So what if there's the first act and it was consensual, and then you may assume that you can do it again, but like the next time around it's like, oh no, I don't want to do this again.
I feel like the person that the sexual act is being portrayed upon needs to start being more vocal about what they do and what they don't want.
Okay.
Because I think that's what it is that in a lot of situations, why, rape happens that is kind of ambiguous is because the person that is receiving the initiation of the sex is not vocal about whether they want it or not. And that's something that we talked about in the first episode of my podcast was just ask for consent. Just always ask for consent. So that way you don't have to worry about in the back of your mind that, oh shit, do they really want this? Wouldn't you feel better and wouldn't the sex be more enjoyable if you knew that that's what they wanted too, and it wasn't just something that you wanted because you was horny and you forced that upon them and they just accepted it because they were like, well, because like I talked about this as well. I have a hard time with establishing personal boundaries. So I would be that person to just accept it even if I don't really want to do it because I'm doing it for you. Or I'm just like, well, I know that's what he wants, so I'm going to just give it to him anyway. So, no, it's not always that, like, we don't want to tell you no. It's sometimes that, like, I give too much of a fuck about your feelings and your ego. I talked about this last week, too. I care a lot about you niggas' feelings. I'm done boosting you niggas' egos. Okay? I'm done. What's up? Welcome. I'm glad you got that one right, sir. I was worried.
What were you worried about?
Chuck said, ask your daddy if a husband can be guilty of raping his wife. Okay. Y'all niggas going at it.
Wait, he said, okay.
He was talking to TJ.
Gotcha.
I'm saying all the gray areas cause problems. I feel everyone needs to agree on what is rape and what is harassment. Anything in which you feel, I feel like as the perpetrator, like if you're the person that's going in and making a sexual advance and you feel like there might be a point that she might not want it or she might be like, yo, like, what are you doing? You might need to reevaluate what you about to do. If you have to, what's up, Wolf? Welcome to the conversation. If you, at any point in whatever you are about to do, have to question in your mind, if you second guess anything, and you have to be like, is this okay? Should I do this? Maybe you should just take a step back and have several seats. Because whatever it is that you feel like you're about to do probably isn't going to be received in the way that you think it is.
Because if you think it's questionable, what do you think they think?
Exactly. If you in your own mind are questioning what you're about to do, what makes you think that the person you're about to do said act to isn't going to do the exact same thing? That's the thing about it. What's up, Coda? Welcome. Chuck says everyone will never agree on everything. That's what laws are for. But laws are created by who? The people that are in power. Who's in power right now? Old rich white men. So I think if we're going to be talking about laws, then we need to reevaluate all the fucking laws of the Constitution and all the rest of the damn the mandates and the bills and shit, all that. Because it was all made by old white men. So those are the laws that we as a society govern ourselves under. Are you an old white man?
I don't think so.
I'm a woman, so I don't even qualify already off top. Okay, I'm double fucked. Okay, so if we're going to talk about that's why there are laws, then we have to, again, look at the context of who is creating these laws. Because if that's the case, then rape is fine in our culture, because we already have pretty much said that rape is fine, because the Kavanaugh trial, that motherfucker still made it to the Supreme Court. Trump's still out here grabbing pussy. He's still the president. There are multiple instances that I can give you that say that rape is okay in our culture. So I agree that that's what laws are for, but who's making these laws?
And who's enforcing them, and how?
Who's enforcing them, and how are they enforcing them? Women can be guilty. Yes. We're going to get to that. 100%. Women can be guilty of harassment too. TJ says, right. So the law is not all encompassing of what everyone is fighting for. I do agree with that. Chuck, the convo is about rape. The definition of rape is not in question. How can you talk about rape if you don't define it correctly? I just love that you guys are just like going back and forth. You guys I love this banter. I don't even got to say shit. This is great. Like, keep going. No. The culture doesn't care about rape, but the laws are clear about definitions. Okay. If we're looking at it from that, if you say that, then yes, the laws are clear about rape. But we do have to take culture into account, because if we don't, then every woman that's ever been raped would be believed. And we wouldn't be having this conversation if the laws were enforced the way that they were supposed to be. Technically. Culture, it depends on who's carrying out the law and who's enforcing it.
Yeah.
Lots of motherfuckers ain't doing their job right now. It's a lot of niggas sleep. Okay? But we not mad at each other. No, I love that you guys aren't mad at each other. You guys are literally just having a healthy debate within Tea with Tea. This is fantastic. This is what I'm here for.
That's the engagement.
This is what we're here for. Yes, this is why I'm doing this. So, I want to know, do we as a society tell males, or whoever's doing the raping, I don't know, whatever floats your boat, but let's just use males as a generalization. Do we tell males it's okay and condone the act? And I'm asking from the point of media and entertainment. As a society, do we condone the act of rape and harassment with the things that we put on TV? I feel like back in the 90s and like the early 2000s, fuck yeah. Like, we were all about raping bitches and pillaging and plundering. We definitely were, especially in the hood, especially in our community. That's when we became bitches and hoes. Was back in the 90s and the early 2000s. Like, that's like back in the 70s and 80s, like, we was like jive turkeys and you know whatnot. But then they're just like, we were like, nah, fuck all that sugarcoat shit. They're bitches and hoes. That's what they are. So we just gonna call a spade a spade. But there were also a lot of sack chasers back then. So I understand why you felt that way. But we've got to get away from that, guys. Give me your opinions. Chuck says, I'm not talking about enforcement. I'm talking about definition, since folks are confused about what words mean. Oh, Chuck's coming for everybody. Bow, 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 bow. This motherfucker's firing fucking grenade launchers at motherfucker. Fuck a little pistol. He's taking fucking AK-47s like today.
Lethal weapon. Okay.
Hell yeah. The culture is passive on rape, because when a woman says I was raped, everyone looks at the person as she didn't get raped, because we define rape as forceful. That's true. I do feel that we as a culture define rape as forceful penetration, and everything outside of that instead of passive reception. Exactly. Cam says, in your opinion, what do you think someone should do, male or female, if they got consent from their partner and are still accused of rape? The fuck kind of, that's a gray area. Yeah, that is a gray area. What's up? Welcome. So
in
Chuck,
that instance, like, I can touch on that topic because...
Okay, so wait a minute. Yeah. So Chuck says, yes, we absolutely condone that BS in culture. It's improving as people become more aware, but yes, music, movies, the rape culture was built up via media. I do agree there, yeah. What's up, Daniel? Welcome to the conversation. We are talking about, do we live in a rape culture? I know you're going to have a lot to say. Okay? You add to the conversation. You missed a lot, but it's okay. You can still contribute.
Watch it later.
You can rewatch it after this.
And listen to the podcast.
Subscribe. Yes. TJ says, so let's figure out what we all need to fight against. Thoughts, opinions? What do we need 2. So Daniel says yes, in America. So Daniel can add a different perspective because he is European. He is not American. He was born over in Scotland, and he, lived a lot, most of his life in Britain and Europe. So Daniel, give your perspective on why we as an American society are more of a rape culture than other nations and countries. TJ says, I've never seen no one say it was okay to rape. What songs you listen to? The fuck you mean? Are you serious? Did you dead ass just say you've never heard a song that implied raping and shit was okay? Are you serious right now? Do we need to have a history lesson? C says, I feel like you become a rapist or harasser right when the person says no and you keep going. Huh! Oh my God, I kind of agree with that. Daniel says, it's such a potent mix of repression, religion, and over-sexuality. We do live in over-sexuality. Chuck says, I knew someone would eventually bring up the whole false allegation issue. Bottom line, yes, those happen, but it's such a minor percentage versus those that tell the truth or never report. Daniel says, those matters collide badly. What's up, Real Chop? Welcome to the conversation. We are talking about, do we live in a rape culture? TJ says, maybe I'm sheltered and shit. TJ, perhaps you are, because I'm like,
have you not heard? Like, even if you hear the clean version
like,
of stuff,
even
it's still
if you hear
insinuating.
the clean version, it insinuates that it's okay. Have you never heard any of Too Short shit? Have you never heard NWA shit? Have you never seen Boys in the Hood? Have you never seen Baby Boy? Did you just not grow up in a black culture at all? Because those things are like, that's what the fuck I grew up on. What's up, Jay? Right, what's love got to do with it? Perfect example of a rape in marriage. Mm-hmm. Tina and Ike Turner. What's love got to do with it? He raped the fuck out her in that booth, but they were married. Yeah. Okay? Prime example. Yo Daddy says, I'm sorry, TJ, I never heard a rape song. You need to go back and
just listen to music.
Just please go listen to some music.
What's up, Jay? Just listen to some music.
Chuck says, never heard it. You need to listen closer, homie. Yeah, you need to listen to the subliminal messages.
Bob in your head, listen to the lyrics.
Listen to the lyrics. Chuck says, you understand that slipping a woman a Molly to hit is rape, right? Y'all literally talking about popping Mollies and Percocets and shit, and that it very much makes you a little bit more loose as far as things are concerned. It does make you a little bit easier to smash. Just saying. TJ says, wait, in Baby Boy they was cool with raping? Nigga, did you not see Rodney?
That's the movie!
Bruh, yo, TJ, I'm about to smack the shit out you. This is what I'm finna reach through this goddamn phone and smack the shit out you.
There are so many films, especially black films, that literally show it.
Yeah.
Show it in front of your face.
Please go back to Baby Boy when Rodney gets out of jail, aka Snoop Dogg, goes to live with Yvette and almost rapes her in front of her son. Yes. Yes. I'm giving you examples. I can do this all day, homie. I can do this all day. I cannot believe that nigga, where are you from? Where did you grow up?
Like, maybe he saw it on TV. They had a commercial break. They skipped that. They
maybe
edited the version.
Maybe he watched the edited version. Yeah. Jay said, what the hell is happening? Okay, Jay. We are talking about, do we live in a rape culture? And so we have gone and we have defined what a rape culture is. We are trying to define rape and harassment and what exactly they are. We have talked about the gray areas of rape and harassment. Like, we've covered a lot. TJ says, I saw it, but she did the whole, you gonna rape me in front of my son? But it wasn't.
She even said it. How did you not
recognize that? How did you not recognize that? TJ said, but it wasn't a good part of the movie.
Well, duh.
Wow. Oh my God. TJ, that says, but listen though, what does that say about you with the fact if you felt that wasn't a good part of the movie and that wasn't a prevalent part of the movie? You're just like, oh, a bitch being raped. Okay, let's move on. Let's fast forward that. You have to, are you not cognizant of what you just did, of what you just, that implies that yes, you don't feel we live in a rape culture because you might do rapey shit and you just blind to it. That's kind of what that says. What's up, Bird? Welcome to the conversation.
Be careful. Watch
Jay,
what you're getting into.
right. Be careful, nigga. Tread lightly. Jay says, oh, yeah, yes. Oh, yeah, yes, ma'am. We are in a rape culture. Okay, Jay, why do you say that? Hello, number one photographer. Welcome to the conversation. Chuck is pulling up facts. If you would like to... disturbing rap lyrics about rape that came before Rick Ross. Okay, no, we can't pull that up right now. But if he wants to look and see rap music that has rape in it, you can go click on that link.
Save that link.
TJ says, not that I passed it. I'm saying we don't condone it. Jay, it says example is 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine is, didn't that nigga go to jail?
Yeah.
That nigga's in jail. For doing other shit. But he's out here. He's out. Y'all.
He was living his best life.
Y'all was letting him live his whole best life. Like
even the night he got shot at, he was still living his best life.
He was still living his best life. He was out here raining money on the hood. Like I don't even. But TJ, you said not that I passed it. I'm saying we don't condone it. So TJ, what I think is in your mind, it's almost like you tune that part of society out. It's like you put on blinders to the fact that the shit is happening. And so because you do that, you're saying, I don't see shit. Mm-hmm. I don't know we don't live in a rape culture because I don't see it. What's up, Mr. Connection? Welcome. TJ says, I don't think y'all get that. We think rapists are horrible people. But it doesn't detract from the fact that you are asking all of these questions about questionable scenarios and not really... Like, I'm still confused on...
It's almost like you're saying, well, was this a gray area or was
it rape? It's exactly... Was it gray area
or was it rape?
Exactly. You're still teeter-tottering. Yeah. You're still teeter-tottering on the fact of whether you think some things are rape and some things are not. So how horrible do you think that these people are if you yourself are doing questionably rapey shit? Pause. Put a pin in that. Come back to it.
Contemplate.
We'll be here. So, but the thing is, I really do appreciate you guys all sharing your viewpoints and the way that you feel about this topic, because this is good. Like, maybe we're sparking, things in people that maybe they haven't thought about. And so that's why I think it's important that we continue to have this conversation. TJ says, because we are still in gray areas, and to fix the issue, we must say what is wrong and what is not. And okay, I guess this goes back to the whole common sense ain't common thing. Chuck says, all your daddy's questions are proof of rape culture. Ooh, Jay just wants to know if he can have $1. Can you have $1? Really, Jay? Can you have $1?
You want me to Venmo you?
Right. Did this just become a street corner? So now we're on a street corner somewhere asking for dollars. Okay, let's move on.
Some pennies. Penny for your thoughts.
Right, penny for your thoughts. Let's move on to our topic of spilling the tea. So it's time for us to share our experiences with rape and how it has affected us and the way that we view sexual interactions, intimacy, and relationships. Because, Claudius, you are my guest, I would like for you to go first. And I feel like we don't have a lot of male opinions on the subject. So I would rather hear from a male perspective first, just in case we run out of time. Mm-hmm. Because I feel that this is important and that a lot of people need to hear this. Because y'all know my damn story. Like, my shit is a broken record. But I'll still talk about it because it's cathartic and it's healing. So, Claudius... here we go. So yes, we're about to spill the TJ. Daniel says your president is an alleged rapist. Need I add more? Dead ass. We did. We talked about that, Daniel. You missed it, but we talked about him out here grabbing pussy. Chuck says alleged rape isn't and self-bragging sexual assault. Okay, so Claudius, please, the floor is yours. Tell us about your experience.
Let's see. Where to begin? Just a disclaimer, this is the first time I've actually publicly expressed this. So if I jump around, just bear with me.
I thank you.
You rein me in.
But I thank you for this. No. This is good for you as well. So everybody give him the floor.
All right. From the time that I was about 8 years old until I was a teenager, I can say that I was molested or sexually assaulted, whatever title you want to put on it. I don't like to use the word rape just because it has a connotation in my head that is just too strong for me to really embrace. But there was an older female cousin who did take advantage of me when I was just a little boy, literally. And she had got it to the point where I had it misconstrued in my head that I was in the wrong and that I was the one who would get in trouble, or, you know, something was wrong with me. And it was a very unhealthy time in my life. So, you know, there was a handful of years where literally any time that we were at a family gathering or like that cousin was around, she would take advantage of me being there. And there was a lot of inappropriate touching and action and things like that that happened. As years passed, basically when she went away to college, it stopped. And for me, that had me completely conflicted because, I mean, at that point, I was coming of age. I was going into high school. I didn't really know what to accept as normal, what to see or believe for my own self. And I just felt that I was really given the short end of the stick. So, I mean, I had no idea how to pursue relationships in the future. I had no idea what to think was acceptable as far as like sexual culture is concerned. Like a lot of it was internalized for me. So I never expressed any of this to people, including my own family, until recently. And I have to say that I don't know what my life would be like if this didn't happen to me, but I do know that it has created a mindset and perspective that I embrace now as an adult. So, I mean, it's something that should never happen to anybody. Period.
Agreed. I agree.
But it does.
But it does, and I think that's the thing about it is like we as a society like to put on like TJ does. We like to put on blinders to shit that we don't want to see or things that we think we shouldn't be doing because of how taboo they are. But they happen every day to someone somewhere, and it's just one of those things of like, are we ever going to talk about this? Because this is very much a problem, a world global problem. This is not just a black culture problem. This is not just a white people problem. This is not, it's a human problem. And it's like, again, I always say it's one of those things of we can talk about it all day. But if there's nobody else on the other end of the table that's listening that wants to be an ally and wants to start providing solutions to the problem, then we're just going to keep walking around in fucking circles. So I do this because I want to find those people that want to have these conversations, that want to help bring solutions into the equation instead of just sweeping it under the rug or blaming the victim, survivor, you know, whatever you want to call the person. And you know, it gets to a point where you could just get tired of being tired, bitch. Like, you get tired. But C says, I think we definitely live in a culture where we, and when I say we, I mean society, doesn't care what happens to you if they don't know you. And as far as rape and other abuse goes, people are getting used to it and starting to brush it under the rug as if it doesn't matter because no one is doing anything about it. Chuck says, sad story, but at least you are aware of it and are trying to deal with it now. The fact that you recognize it means you have a chance to change the future for the best. Most people tuck it away.
Yeah, I mean, I literally bottled it up for a good 10 years before I even told anybody. So, you know, I was going through my youth and coming of age trying to battle with this and battle with the normal stuff that everybody deals with every day. You know, I was out here trying to figure out, you know, okay, well, who do I talk to? Who can I confide in? I was having issues with my dating life. I would say that even to this day, there are still some remnants where I might have a mental block, or I might go through a situation where I'll be reminded of my childhood and my past. And it's just like, okay, I need to take a step back and, you know, do more for myself.
I can say that for me and with my experience, it has made me very unconsciously wary of good men. Like I constantly look at men and always feel like there's an ulterior motive, and always feel like they're trying to sexualize me, and that's all they want from me. So I can say for me, growing up, like I never really looked at sex as a big deal. I never looked at it as a sacred thing. I was just like, well, I've been doing this shit like forever, so it's not really that big of a deal. But you start to like we were talking about it earlier, and it's like you start to compartmentalize it. It's like, okay, this is this part of my life. I keep that separate from everything else that's going on and happening to me in my life. So it's not healthy to have to compartmentalize a part of yourself away from the rest of who you are, because for me, it caused me to become numb. So when I have sex, most of the time I'm numb. I don't give a fuck. Like I bust nuts, yeah, but that's because I've been busting nuts since I was 6. Like I've been masturbating since I was 6, so I know how to bust a nut. But as far as having a deep emotional connection and sexual experience with somebody, I'm disengaged. I've never had that before. And so it gets to the point of where like you want that. And so you have to heal this compartmentalized part of who you are in order to be able to share that and have that bonded experience with somebody else. So I think that's something that we're both still like actively working through, is like being able to have that kind of experience. Or like, I don't know about you, I'm still working on being able to do that and have that kind of connection with somebody, because sex is an important part of a relationship. And if you can't have sex with somebody because of something that happened to you in your past, that's not your fault. But it is something that you do have to eventually deal with and look at and heal from if you're going to have better sex in the future. Yeah. That part.
Because I can say that there was definitely a time, and it was a prolonged period of time, where like sex was very unfulfilling for me. And I mean,
right? You didn't bust nuts for how long?
Too long. it was literally like sexercise for me. Like I had multiple sexual partners that could not please me. Like basically it was like every girl that I would sleep with was not able to do anything for me. And it's just like, I don't even know why I'm doing this anymore. And I couldn't get out of my head. It
like took the pleasure of sex away from you, and sex is supposed to be one of those beautiful, pleasurable things that you can do. So it's basically like it robbed you of an experience. Like,
yeah, and then it got to the point where it's like, okay, well, since I'm not able to receive pleasure from this, let me just at least find satisfaction in pleasing my partner. So
that sucks. Fuck out of here. Oh, hell no.
For a while, it was just like, okay, well, I'm doing this for you. Just like you were saying, you were numb to it. Just like, I'm going to do this for my partner because I know that's what they want.
Yeah.
So anytime after a while, like, I learned my stroke, you know.
Jay.
I learned my stroke, and it's like, okay, well, now I'm going to please my partner. I'm going to make sure that she gets hers. And I'm like, don't worry about me. I want to make sure you get yours.
So Jay says, whoa, 6 is a young age. I started at 7 or 8. Jay, how the fuck is that any different? I started a whole 365 days before you did, but all of a sudden, whoa, that's a young age? Come on, bro. Come on.
Because like, I definitely remember like sneaking into like the room where everybody has the TV set up.
Oh my God, we're already, how are we already at the 2-minute mark for this? This is crazy. Well, you guys, okay, so I feel like this is going to cut out. So before it does, tell everybody where we can find you on your social media, and then that way I can go into Tea of the Week.
All right. Well, on my Instagram, it is at DAGECKO91. Facebook is my full name, Claudius Napoleon Shropshire IV. Not the third, because you're going to find my father. Don't add him.
Oh, Lord.
Twitter, I'm not really active on it, but it's the same thing, Degecko.
You need to have like all of your handles be the same, so that because you literally took like 45 seconds and I have like a minute.
Hey, my handle is DAGECKO91. Follow me. I need
guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do a part 2. So I'm going to get off of here because it might cut out at any moment in time. And we're gonna finish our conversation. So this will definitely be 2 parts because this is a really deep subject. So we're probably not done.
And
so
there's so much more to talk about.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. So just come back for part 2 if you really want to kiki with me a little bit more. Thank y'all.
Engage.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming through. Come back in like 10 seconds.